V3. 10 ampere is entering the node. Okay. Ampere is leaving the node, as well as you have two currents. One is V2 minus V.
Sir, your voice is lagging. Sir.
See, is this now? Is this okay? So see, at V3 you have four. At node 3 you have four current components. At node 3 you have four current components. One ampere is entering the node. Okay, 5 milliampere is leaving the node, and other than that you have kilo ohm, the current through across 4 kilo ohm, that is V2 minus V3 by 4, and another through 1 kilo ohm, that is V1 minus V3. So now you, as you have, whatever you have assumed, so let us say you assume that the current was leaving node 1, and so for node, so if you calculate this, or if you just assume this, so then it will be V1 minus V3 by 1 kilo ohm, so that will be the current. Actually having four equations for that, or four things that are leaving from V3. Equation that you have got, tell me, what is the equation that you have got?
Sir, the final equation at node 3 is 4v1 plus v2 minus 5v3
4v1,
plus
no no
v2.
no, see you see, it will be see, just if we write it down, V3 minus V2 by 4 plus V3 minus V1 by 1 will be equal
Plus
to
10.
10 minus, yes, will be equal to 5. Yes. So that
Yes,
will
sir.
give you, so that will give you minus V1 minus V2 by 4 V3, and that will be equal to.
Sir, can you explain again? Sorry, I did not.
Yes, I will explain it again. I will just explain it again. Let me take it to full screen.
Sir, these types of question will sufficient for GATE examination, or we have to try something else.
See, kind of questions. Some of these questions are for GATE as well. So, like, see this question. This question has come in GATE previously. Okay. So let us say when I'm writing V3. So at so when I'm writing, from the whiteboard itself. Okay, just a minute. I will do it from the white. I think everybody has the question, so I will do it with the whiteboard. Okay, so is the board is the board visible to everybody?
Not yet, sir.
So is this visible now?
Yes,
Is
sir.
this visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So when I'm writing that at node 3, okay, so see it will be, so if you're writing this, so you have 1 kilo ohm across V3 and V1. So the current across that will be V3 by 1, okay, plus this will be minus V2, this plus 5, this will be equals to 10. What was the, just draw the circuit for node 3. So if this was node 3, right, so you had a resistance here, and here this was 10 ampere here, come over here, so you had and 10 here. So this was connected to this part, and you had another resistance that was 1, connecting 1 here. So this was 1 and this was 4 kilo. So you had this current here, this current, if you are assuming that this current is leaving, this current is leaving, and this current is also leaving. So you have this one for this part of the circuit, V3 minus V2 by 4 for this part of the circuit, plus 5 for this one, and okay.
Yes, sir.
The equation at node 3, V3 minus V1 by 1 plus V3 minus V2 by 4 plus 5 is equal to 10.
Yes, sir. But I have assumed, sir, all the current entering at node V3 and except 5 milliampere.
Okay, so if you do that as well, so let us say you are assuming that all the currents are entering. Okay, only 5 is leaving. So you
Yes,
can
sir.
write that equation and 3 by 1 plus V2 minus V3 by 4 plus 10 equals to 5. Is this what you have got?
So divided by 1.
See, the current is flowing. So if I just show you in that, say assuming that the current is flowing in this direction, right? So
Yes,
this
sir.
potential will be higher potential, this potential will be lower potential. So if there will be a voltage drop across this 1 kilo ohm resistance,
Yes, sir.
so therefore, how do you write the current expression? This will be V lower by the resistance. So what is your V higher? V1. What is your V lower? It's V3. So it's V1 minus. So if you are taking that the current is flowing in this direction for node 3, when you are writing node 3, that means at node 3, this current is entering. When you write the equation for node 1, then also you have to assume that this current is leaving, then you have to assume that as well as V1 minus V3. This current direction remains constant for the calculation. So if you are writing V3 minus V1 by 1 for node 3, for node 1 also it will be V3. But if you are writing V1 minus V3, then it will be V1 minus V3 throughout, because the current direction, this would be is leaving, for node 3 it is entering. So accordingly the equations will change. Just the equations will change. In this, that the current is going out of V3 and entering V1, so that will be V higher minus V lower, that is V3 minus V. That is why I assume likewise that 10 ampere is only entering and all the others are leaving. So therefore we are getting this. Okay.
Okay, sir.
See, anybody is having any question?
So,
Yes.
so in question number three, the current which is flowing through the ancient doubt in that which one I have to exclude because of the short circuit.
Okay, so just I will just look at the question once. Question number 3, right? Yes, question number 3. You are asking that is the equivalent resistance between AB and CD. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just tell me what you are asking.
So
You have been asked here that you have to calculate the equivalent resistance between AB and CD, right?
yes, sir.
Resistance between AB and CD. So according how to calculate ones from AB end and ones from CD end, I will just tell you, and I will send the solutions as well. I will make the I will give the solutions for this as well. Right? So I will just tell you how to do this. Just let me open the question. Okay. So let us say, so when you are taking from the AB end, right? When you are taking from the AB end, first you have a 50 ohm resistance. You have a 50 ohm resistance.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hence, you can eliminate this 60 ohm part.
Yes, sir. How are we
Why?
eliminating? How are we eliminating the 60 ohm part?
Yes, I will tell you. See, both your CD and AB, both of these terminals are open circuited. Open circuited. So, if I am calculating just the resistance between A and B, so this 60 ohm parallel circuit. The 60 ohm, this doesn't make a part of the parallel circuit. I will just draw and show it to you. Right? See, say this is A, resistance here, you have a resistance here, this is coming back to B, right? You have a resistance here, you have a resistance here, and you have a resistance here. This is coming back, and you have a just the line here. So this is your C, this is your D, and this is your B. Right? I'm calculating the equivalent resistance between AB. So RAB, so this will be equal to 50 because this has been
Yes,
right.
yes, sir.
This has been given as 50. This has been given as 60. So you are having this resistance. You are having this one branch and this another branch. So this branch and this entire branch, these two are in parallel between A and B, but circuit is not complete, so you can eliminate this because the circuit ends here itself because there is no closed path here, so this resistance will be of no use. So you are having 50 and you are having this resistance and this three resistance, this one. So these three are will be in parallel. So what are the values you say? You tell me what are the values? One is
150.
100. Yes. Okay, so this will become 50 plus, if this is 100, so this is becoming 100, this entire branch, this entire branch. So this is 150 plus 100 plus, this is simple. So this 60 actually getting eliminated since you are not having any closed path here. Now when you consider CD, similarly this will get eliminated and you have 60 plus this entire branch.
Sir,
Okay,
sir,
follow.
why not? Why can't we short circuit? Because if we short
We,
circuit, sir, if we
if you
short
short
circuit,
circuit,
then we can remove this 100 ohm resistance. And consider this 150, 60, and 150 in series, and then in parallel with 100 ohms.
point of short circuiting here. You have been just asked to calculate the equivalent resistance, right? You
Yes,
have
sir.
been asked here to calculate the equivalent resistance. Just calculating the equivalent resistance, you just see here at this point, your current is getting divided into two ones. So if you are short circuiting this, I find your point that you are saying that the entire current will flow through this. Then the entire current, if you are just eliminating current is flowing through this, then that means you are telling that the entire current will be flowing through this resistance as well. If you are eliminating this series circuit, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is becoming an entire series circuit means this entire thing. So this entire, if you calculate this again, so then again you have to eliminate this resistance as well. But you are not asked to calculate the equivalent resistance. So when you are calculating the equivalent resistance, you just see if the circuit has been given short circuit or open circuit. Anything, so you do not need to consider this or you do not need to short circuit this. You have been just asked to calculate the resistance across this AB and across, say, when you had, when you were calculating the equivalent resistance for Thevenin's circuit, when you had this load resistance. So this open circuit part, you had to eliminate this. Didn't we eliminate this open circuit part? We use this as a short circuit, or when we calculated the short circuit current in Norton's theorem. But when we were calculating the equivalent resistance, did we consider this as the short circuit? Terminals open by removing the load resistance. Right?
Yes, sir.
So we are, so we do not need to short circuit this. If we were finding the short circuit current, then we would have short circuited this one.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can you tell the concept that how to find equivalent?
Infinite resistance.
Yes, sir. If
Infinite
there are
resistance means,
infinite resistance.
Sir, that
okay, so
ladder problem, sir. Ladder problem.
if there are R, 2 R, 2 R, so like this. So, okay. Find out the find out the circuit show is good, and I can get it. Okay, so just let me Draw the circuit and you will understand. So let us say that you are okay, I will just show.
Sir, can I send you to in your WhatsApp, sir?
You want to send me what in WhatsApp? Yes, you can send me. Which question I am not understanding. That is the problem. Which no? That is what I am asking.
Sir, this infinite resistance problem.
Yes, you send me what you want to send me. You send me. No problem with that. Send me. Just a second. I will just take the call from that sir. You will send. Okay, I will just whatever with this, I will just tell you. So let us say what we are doing.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so here, so say you have one resistance here, one resistance here, one resistance here, and likewise this is continuing. This is continuing like this, right? Okay. So what we will do, we will first assume here, okay. Let us say that let the equivalent resistance be R. Let us say the equivalent resistance is equal to R. Okay. So what does the value of the circuit becomes? So changing this network. So this network will be remaining the same for the entire. So you can just reduce this network. What we are doing this entire part, and we are making this resistance, let's say, is equal to R. Okay. So this circuit is reduced to see. I will just explain it to you. What we are taking, or the equivalent resistance of the entire circuit is R. So the equivalent resistance of this entire circuit. So this is an infinite resistance. So let us say whatever be the resistance of this part, we are not concerned. So this is an infinite series. Let us say infinite series value is equal to R. So if this infinite series value is equal to R, whatever you add to infinity, that will remain still infinity. We are taking the resistance of this infinite series as R. You add anything to it, the equivalent resistance will remain at R. Okay. So what we are taking, the resistance of this infinite resistance is equal to R. Now you are having, say, according to your problem, this is 1 ohm and this is R. R, we are assuming the equivalent resistance to be R. So if the equivalent resistance of the entire circuit entire resistance of this part will also be equal to R. So therefore your equivalent circuit resistance becomes, see, R is equal to R plus, R parallel to 1 R parallel to 1 R parallel to 1. If you calculate this, what will it come? It will come R is equal to R by R plus 1. This you can calculate R. So once you have got R, right? Am I clear or should I repeat
Yes, sir.
something?
No, sir. No, sir.
So
It's clear.
this, you get the value of R from this equation. You get the
Yes,
value
sir.
of R from this equation. Now what you do, you just put and you calculate the equivalent resistance of this part only. That will be the equivalent resistance of the entire circuit. So what we are doing, first we are assuming that let the circuit of the infinite series be R. Let the resistance of the infinite series be R. So that if the resistance of the infinite series is R, if you add R to R itself, so that is what we are equating here. We are finding the value of R, we are putting this value of R, and from there we are getting the value of the equivalent.
Okay, sir. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any questions from anybody, or should we move?
You explain question number 4 for once.
Question number 4. Question number 4 was, okay, that circuit, everything was coming to 0, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So for that circuit you see, okay, so I will. So what I'm doing, can I send you the solutions today? If there is any problem, can you just ask me in the next step?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. No
That
problem.
would be better.
I will just send the solutions from all the problems today. Okay. I think we should continue with the class today then. I will just send you the problem and still the solutions and easily show it, or else I have to do the entire problem now here. That is what I'm saying. So let's just move on. So just talking. Okay, so we are moving on to the next part. That maximum power transfer theorem. Okay, so the next part is maximum power transfer. Okay, so okay. So is this visible?
Yes, sir.
So let us say we are talking of power being transferred from the source to the load. So what is the variable thing? The variable thing is the power. Okay. So the entire energy that is generated, by the source. Okay. So here, see this is your the source. active element. A voltage or a current source is termed as the active element, and this is its internal resistance. So the generated here. So what is the equation of the power generated in here? So this is equal to P equals to, that is P input as E square by R. If this is the internal resistance, it's E square by R. Now transferred from the source to the load end, but in between you are having several series resistances. Say you are here, you can have voltage drops, you can have current, you can have parallel resistances here, so you will have a current drop. So what is consumed by the load, so the power output at the load, we give that as into R. So this is the power output. This is the power output, that is I square into R. Is E square by R. So we have to calculate what is the maximum power transfer theorem stating. So the max, that what amount of power generated in the source is transferred to the load. What amount of power generated in the source load. So this you get from power output and power input equation. So this is about the concept of power being transferred. We will see here, or we will prove it later. So if you just look at this diagram, so when the load resistance, this is the transfer theory, that when the load resistance is equal to the internal resistance. Now here internal resistance means that internal resistance as only this one, you had no other resistances, so it has been written that RL is equal to R, but resistances here. So when I am talking about the internal resistance of the circuit, the internal resistance of the circuit is the resistance of the circuit leaving out the entire resistance of the circuit, leaving out the load resistance. So that is the internal resistance. So when is the maximum power transfer? Maximum power will be transferred when RL is equal to R. RL will be equal to R. Prove it to the maximum power transfer theorem, and you see, as RL goes on increasing, the power consumed or the power transferred, this reduces. The power transferred, this reduces. So once when RL point, there is no power transfer. Now when the RL increases, so automatically this V square, the output power, this will go on decreasing. Okay, so the maximum limit is reached, or the maximum power is reached at the will be equal to R, when RL will be equal to R. Now next, let's move on to the proof. Let's move on to the proof. So let us say the input power or the output power is given by this. The output power is given by this expression, RL plus R, this expression, this is nothing but your I. So here you have only two resistances in the circuit. What will be your power? Your power will be E divided by RL plus R whole square multiplied by RL. Now what we are doing here, we are using of UV. This is how you calculate the maxima and minima. We first differentiate it, we equate it to 0, and we here you have U by V, U by V. See, U by V. Why U by V? Because this is square constant. E square is your constant term. So when you are differentiating it with respect to RL divided by RL plus R whole square. So this is in the U by V format. So what is the U by V format of differentiation? So d dx of U by V, remembers, it is V du by dx minus U dv by dx by, see, we have just put that into use. So what is your V here? Your V is RL plus R whole square. So V du by RL, this is coming out as 1 minus RL, that is U, multiplied by this is 2 RL plus R by RL plus R whole to the power 4. Minima, you equate it to 0. So when you are equating it to 0, so this expression, if you are taking, so this multiply with this is becoming 0. So what you are left with, and this E square also a constant sum. So what you are left with, RL plus R whole is equal to 0. So if you closely look at this, you have two expressions. One is RL plus R, another is R minus RL. So this will be equal to 0. Now resistance cannot be negative. Resistance is a constant term, your negative value, but resistance cannot be negative, so you just eliminate this term. You are left with R minus RL is equal to 0, this one. So what R is equal to RL. So from this you are getting R is equal to RL. So for this condition, transfer, that is P, will be maximum. Power transfer P will be maximum when your R is equal to RL. So this derivation, this is your exam. So this is important. This derivation is important for your exam. Okay. So this may come as a, do the derivation correctly. You know what should be the output. You just have to express the current equation or the power equation, and then you, okay. So what is the maximum power transfer theorem stating? Maximum power transfer theorem is stating that the maximum power when the load resistance is equal to the source internal resistance. This is the condition of maximum power transfer theorem. So this power will be drawn from a source. This will be maximum power will be drawn from a source is equal to the source internal resistance. One. Second is when maximum power transfer condition is satisfied, load is matched with the source. Load is matched with the source means that is the load, that is the frequency of the current of the matches with that of the source frequency or source frequency of the current or source frequency of the load, and resistance of the load is equal to that of the source resistance. So this is what we mean by that maximum when the load is matched with the source, and under maximum power transfer condition the efficiency of the source is, we will again see how this 50% comes.
Sir, can you explain the second point?
This point. This one. See, this is two. One is load resistance. RL is equal to R. One. This means one thing. And second is source. That means frequency of load is equal to frequency of source. That is, frequency of the current and voltage of the load will be when you are using AC source. So this is what is meant by matched. This is what you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I think you can calculate this. I will just show you how this comes. So what is the maximum power that a source of resistance R can ever develop? So what is the expression? You had the expression as E square R plus RL whole square multiplied by RL, right? So when your R is equal to capital RL, so what will this become? E square by R is equal to RL, so 2R whole square R, so this is becoming E square by 4R square multiplied by R. So this R and this R is getting cancelled. So if what is the maximum power developed by a source of E and internal resistance R? The answer is E square by 4R. Clear? So two things you got till now, that the condition of maximum equals to RL. Second is the maximum power developed will be equal to E square by 4R. And the third thing will be, that is the third proof will be proof that, okay, so how do you get this? So what is the power? I said in the first itself, so it was I square RL. What is the input power? This is I squared by RL plus R plus R into RL plus R. So this is I square into RL plus R. So now this R will be equal to this. So this is becoming divided by I square into 2R into 100%. So see I square getting cancelled. So you are left with 50%. So you have three conditions for maximum power transfer. One, R will be equal to RL. Maximum power is E square by 4R. And 3, efficiency is 50%. Conditions for maximum power transfer theorem. Any part of the derivation you didn't understood, or any questions you have?
স্যার এটা আরেকবার রিপিট করুন।
কোনটা এটা?
হ্যাঁ
Our output is I square by RL because only current I is flowing through RL. Our total power input is total resistance multiplied by current square. This is input power, this is output power. So if you just this condition, so we are getting I squared by R. Clear?
ইয়েস স্যার।
Okay. So you can calculate it likewise as well. We will move on to Millman's theorem next, but before that, what you do, you just do one problem. This maximum power transfer theorem. So when your proof will come for this derivation will be of say 5 marks. So basically what you have to do, you will be given any two conditions to prove. Say it can be given prove the condition for maximum power transfer theorem, find out what is the efficiency of the circuit, or the find the efficiency of the power taken up, or condition for maximum power transfer theorem. What is the maximum power that is delivered by the source in this maximum power transfer condition? So derivations will combine to come as a single question. So I have shown you all the three combinations. So any two derivation as a combination. Okay. What we will do, we will just do a simple problem. So I will share this PDF now. 3.47. Okay, it is said find the value of R maximum power transfer takes place and what is the amount of power. Amount of maximum power transfer and so this is the circuit given to you. This is the circuit given to you. Value of R so that maximum power transfer takes place, and what you have to do, you have to find out the maximum power through the resistance. Okay, so please try this problem. Try this. Please everybody try this problem. After that I will. We
Sir,
are
it is coming 12.04 watt.
12. Okay, 12 watt, 12.04 watt. Yes, perfect. So what you will do? First, you open circuit this one. Okay. You see, you have just these four resistances to consider, and you have this voltage 4 volt. So let us say that is I. So this current will get divided into two branches. One is through this, one is through this. Okay. So what you are having, this 1 ohm resistance, this will be in series with a parallel combination of 2 ohm and 5 plus 1 ohm. So that has been given here. You see, been given here 5 plus 1, 5 plus 1 parallel to 2 plus 1, this one. 5 plus 1 parallel to 2 plus 1. So you are getting the total current as 8 by 5 ampere. So you can now calculate the current through this branch. So what is the your current through this 1 ohm resistance is coming out 2 by 5 ampere. So what is the voltage drop 2 by 5 cross 1? That is equals to 2 by 5 volt. So what is the open circuit voltage coming out? What will be the open circuit voltage? This voltage will be this 2 by 5 volt plus 6 volt, that is coming out to be 32 by 5 volt or 6.4 volts. You calculate the internal resistance from this end. Internal resistance from this end under this condition. So you are having this 5 plus 2 ohm parallel to this 1 ohm. So basically you are getting the internal resistance you see as 0.85 ohm. Now because this is voltage source, so voltage source is short circuited. So when you are calculating, when you are short circuiting the voltage, becoming this kind of a circuit. This is becoming this kind of a circuit. 1 ohm parallel to 5 and 2 parallel to 1. So as 0.85 ohm. The internal resistance as 0.85 ohm. Now you have been given the condition of maximum power transfer. The internal resistance R will be equal to the load resistance. So the load resistance is 0.85 ohms and you can calculate maximum power by 4R, that is coming out as about 12 watt, 12.04 watt. Clear? Everybody clear?
Yes.
Shubhadeep?
Yes, sir.
Shubhadeep?
Yes, sir.
Wait.
Can
Question.
first equation that I part, that
First
4 by
part, I part. See the okay. See this part of the circuit is open circuited. This part is open circuited. So you are calculating the open circuit voltage. Okay. Consider this. The current is flowing from here. This is the flow of current from this end.
yes,
So you see 1 ohm. This is in series with a parallel combination of 2 ohm and 5 and 1 ohm.
sir.
Okay. So what you are getting 5 plus 1 parallel to 2, this entire combination resistance.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Shubham, any Shubham Rai? And any reason for that? Shubham, Shubham, why didn't you? Why did not you submit the assignment that was due to be submitted by Saturday? Surely give it by today. Okay. So what we do? We move. Okay. So I will share with you this sheet. I think you can go through that. Go through this. Okay. And What you try to do now, this is the last question. Then we will move on. Just try to solve this question. Everybody 3.51. Solve 3.51, everybody. And everybody try to solve 3.51. Then we will move on to the Millman's theorem. We would try to complete this day because we will complete Millman's theorem to so please one. Anybody, if anybody do have any questions, you can ask me. So we will now pick up the pace after we complete this one. So once you have done,
Sir,
yes,
can you hear me, sir?
yes, yes.
Sir, actually, I got disconnected in didn't get the procedure solving the problem, the previous one.
Previous one. Okay.
Or problems of this kind, the
Okay, maximum power transfer. We just discussed one problem and we have given this second 3.51 problem. Okay, I will just explain it to you. Okay, explain it for you. No issues. See, we were given this circuit. Okay. Now you have been asked to find out the load resistance R. That is correct. So what we are doing, we are first removing this resistance and we are making this circuit, this part. So we would be calculating the open circuit voltage across the terminals X and Y, right? So you see at this point, if you are if you are taking, will be flowing through this 1 ohm resistance and then two branches. One is I1 through 2 ohm, another one is I2 through 5 and 1 ohm. Right? Because this part of the circuit is open circuited. Okay. So what you are having the resistance combination as? See, 1 ohm. This will be in series with a parallel combination of 2 ohm. 1 ohm resistance in series with a parallel combination of 2 ohm and 5 and 1 ohm. Okay. So 4 volt divided by this 5 plus 1 in parallel with 2 plus 1. 5 plus 1, 5 plus 1 in parallel to 2 plus 1. Okay, so you are getting this I you are getting is 8 by 5 ampere. So what you have to do, if you are trying to calculate, that is the voltage drop across 1 ohm resistance. So once you have got the total current 8 by 5 ampere, what you do, the current divider rule, right? So reciprocal of resistances. So you are getting I2 as 2 by 5 ampere. So the current through this 1 ohm resistance will be 2 by 5 ampere. So this VOC, the open circuit voltage, you have to calculate the voltage drop across AB plus this 6 volt. This will give you the open circuit voltage VOC. The V plus 6 volt will give you this open circuit voltage. So we are calculating that and we are getting the open circuit voltage as 6.4 volt. Right. So we have got this as the 6.4 volt. Okay. Now we have to calculate the So when we are calculating the internal resistance of the circuit, for Thevenin's you have seen, for Norton's you have seen, for superposition you have seen, that short circuited. So this will be short circuited, this will be short circuited. So you are left with a circuit like this circuit, right? So basically, if you are calculating the equivalent resistance of the internal resistance, so this internal resistance also you can see, so it has been written as RTH. Okay, so you are calculating this resistance with respect to time. So you are having 3 branches. One is this 1 ohm resistance, one is this 5 ohm and 2 ohm branch, another is this single 1 ohm branch. So this is another branch and this is entirely another branch, right? So you will get R is equal to 0.85 ohm. R equals to RTH and this will be equal to 0.85 ohm. How we are calculating? Parallel to 2 plus 5 ohm, parallel to 1 ohm. So we are getting 0.85 ohm. So what is the condition of maximum power transfer? You were given such that maximum power transfer takes place. So for maximum power transfer, R internal will be equal to the R load. This will be equal to R internal equals to 0.85 ohm, and maximum amount of power delivered you have found out as E 4 into 0.85, and you are getting the power that is delivered, maximum power that is delivered.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So now do this problem 3.51. Has anybody done that? I do not know.
Sir, 19.224 watts.
So 19.25 watt.
2 words. Okay. So I will just, for those who haven't completed, or if anybody is having any doubts, then we will just wait for them. I will just give you the hint. Those who haven't been able to do this, please try to do this on your you have to do what? There are two voltage sources, you see. So first you have to convert this current source into a voltage source. First convert source. So once you convert the current source into a voltage source, this is becoming 20 volt, 10 ohm and 5 ohm in series with a 6 volt ohm resistance and a 10 volt source. You have open circuited X and Y. Now you calculate accordingly by mesh equation the total current. Okay, once you calculate the voltage drop, calculate the internal resistance and you can get the maximum power. So this is the first hint. This is the only hint. Voltage source. Then just apply, find out able to do this. Right? So let's now move on to the next theorem, that is the Millman's theorem. Let us now move on to this is the same. So what is the statement of Millman's theorem stating? That when sources in parallel branches having internal resistances of R1, R2 up to Rn. So when you will have, right, when you have several branches and each branch is having a voltage source and each branch is having a internal resistance of its V1, V2, V3, V4 up to Vn. So this V1, V2, V3, V4, Vn, this n number of active sources resistances are depicted by R1, R2, R3 up to Rn. Okay, so under this you can reduce this entire circuit. You can reduce this entire circuit into a single equivalent circuit where you are having a single equivalent resistance of R and then you are having this load resistance. So same as before, what you do, you calculate the equivalent voltage, you calculate the equivalent resistance and you just with R in series RL. Right? So this is possible only if a circuit is having several parallel number of branches, individual voltage source and individual internal resistance. Then only this is viable. This is allowed. Now, how do you find out the voltages? So what is the expression? So as per Millman's theorem, the expression for the equivalent voltage, please look at this carefully. This will be the expression for the equivalent voltage. How do I calculate the voltage? See, I will just show it. I show it from here. Just here. I. Okay. So V is equal to I. Now this I will be equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3 right, and this will be divided by equivalent resistance be equal to, this equivalent resistance will be equal to C I multiplied by R, and this equivalent resistance, if you try to calculate this, this will be multiplied by R equivalent C. Am I clear or not? V will be, that will be equal, that is I1 plus I2 plus. Now See, I'm writing this. I1 is V1 by R1. Am I right? So you can N1 G1. Similarly, I2 will be V2 G2. So V1 by R1 is V1 G1, V2 I2 is V1 by V2 by R2, so V2 G2. So you are okay. Now, if you write this expression, this part of this part, so this part, you are getting this. So what you are getting is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3 dot 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 up to I is as divided by 1 by R equivalent. This will be same. Now, what is 1 by R equivalent? What is 1 by R equivalent? So if we are writing separately, say G is equal to 1 by R, okay, so this will be equal to 1 R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by dot dot dot. Clear? So this you can replace by equal to G2 plus G3 plus G4 like this. Is this clear? G is conductance. So you can write it like this. So when you are writing only R and your R is equal to 1 by G, 1 by G1 plus G2 plus G3 dot 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 up to G. Okay, so this is your R equivalent. This is your I. You are just rearranging this and writing here I1 plus I2 plus equivalent. Your V will come out to be I1 I2 is V1 G1 plus V2 G2 plus dot 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 to divided by G2 plus G3 dot dot dot. Is this clear? Is this expression derivation of this expression clear? Or should I repeat? Any part that you are not able to understand, you can tell me. I can repeat.
Sir, can you repeat this?
See, V is equal to I. This part is clear to you? So what is I? I is I1 plus I2 plus I3. See, we add up the voltages. We did it in the first class itself. So when we were considering practical sources, you remember what we did? We converted that into. So we cannot add up the voltages when they are in parallel. We can add up the current. So the total voltage V will be R. So that is the total current multiplied by the equivalent resistance. Right? This first statement.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, next what is I1? I1 is V1 by R1, right? And what is 1 by R G1? So your I1 will come as V1 G1, I2 will come as V2 G2. So like this. What we are just doing, just carefully look at this. R equivalent is nothing but 1 by G. Am I right? R equivalent. Okay, so we can just forget about this. We can write this as equals to G, because R equivalent is 1 by G. Here we calculating G individually. So G, and in parallel circuits 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus up to 1 by R. Right? So 1 by R1 is G1, 1 by R2 is G2, 1 by R3 is G3, similarly up to 1. So if you just revert this, that is, if you write this as R equals to 1 by G, so that will come as by G equals to 1 by G1 plus G2 plus G3 up to Gn. So this is what you are getting as the value of the R. This is the value, right? And you replace this G in the voltage equation by G1 up to Gn. This is what you have got. G is equal to G1 plus G2 plus G3 up to Gn. V is equal to V1 G1 plus V2 G2 plus V dot 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 up to Vn Gn by G1 plus G2 dot 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 up to. Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But one thing you have to keep in mind, that this sign is necessary. Why is this sign necessary? I will tell you. Let's say the terminals of this voltage source has been reversed. If the terminals of this voltage source are reversed, then if you are taking this as plus V, you have to take this as minus V. If you are taking this as minus V. So if the signs of the voltage sources are reversed, then what you have to do, sign when you are expressing in the Millman's theorem. Clear?
So can you just repeat this part?
Which part? This expression or sign?
Yes, if you revert
Okay,
it
see, if this is plus minus V1 and here you are having say minus plus, source has been reversed in the other branch. So if you are taking, so this is the reason why we have given, why the book has printed plus minus. This can never be negative, but the voltages can and the currents can be taken as negative if their polarities are changed and their directions are reversed. This is plus, this is minus, and here you have minus plus, that is the reverse of this. Then automatically what happens, plus V1, you have to consider this as minus V2. If you are considering this as plus V1, you will be considering, if the polarities are just the opposite of the other sources. So that is why here it has been given plus minus. Because if the polarity changes, I will explain you why. If the polarity changes, so automatically change. So once the direction of your current changes, that means the voltage you have to take it as negative. You have to consider this plus minus.
Sir,
Yes.
type of problems, why do we need the conductance?
Why do we need? You can do it by the resistance. Conductance will make V1 by G1, but if you had to do, you have to individually calculate V1 by R1, V2 by R2, but then you have to, or else this problem would have become a bit more complex. See what we are, you have been given the voltage source, you have been given the resistance, right? So you can G4 like this. This is not a necessary. You can calculate C by this part. You can individually calculate the currents and you can add fair enough. You can calculate the equivalent resistance and you can multiply with it also. That is also fair enough. But this is just making the problem a tad. We don't have to calculate I1. We can just get the conductances and we can just put it here. Or we can just do it, say V1 by R1 plus calculate it like this. So this is also valid. This is also valid. These two are actually the same expression. You see, this is not a conductance. No, we have they express this way, but you can do it with the resistance as well. 1 by R1, 1 by R2, 1 by Rn. That is, you have to make a lot of additions and then you have to reverse this. So this reciprocal addition is this linear addition. That is why they have converted into G and expressed it this way. But you can do it using R1, R2, R3 as well. So this is the steps we can obtain voltage sources. We are applying the Millman's theorem and we can get it. So you do a simple problem. This is a simple problem. Do it by this. Do 3.52. Because why I am asking you to do 3.52? Then you have to calculate the current through the load resistance as well. The total voltage, you calculate the IL, that is V equals to I V by R plus RL, and then you can. And second important thing about this problem is that you have to use the sign convention in this problem. So that is why I am asking. Millman's theorem problems are very easy, pretty easy problems. I think everybody will be able. Now this is entirely using a voltage source. Resistances are given R1, R2, R3 as 4 ohm. They have been given the voltage sources. So this will be easier to do. I will just show you a problem of current sources given. But first do this, then I will show you that. This 3.53 problem. And everybody please get this Abhijit Chakraborty sir's book. Because if you keep the book open with you, then this will be more easier to understand and give you the problem numbers once we complete this chapter, which are important for your exams as well as for your gates. Because gate examination questions often come from this book. So please be thorough with the problems. I will just tell you the. And someday this week we will do a class at from 4 to 5:30 because if you know about this or if you are informed that you are having a okay, but you do not have any special class for that because you are just in your basic stages now. But I will just class from 4 what to do for your project. Okay.
Sir, 0.12 ampere.
0.12 ampere, yes. Current through the 10 ohm resistance is this. So what will be the voltage drop? This is 10 multiplied by 0.12 will be 1.2. That is easy. Anybody else did this? I will just show you the problem, right? And this, see, we will be considering a common voltage source and an equivalent resistance. So just look at the problem. You are having this minus plus and plus minus. So what this like this? Minus 4 minus 2 multiplied by 1 by 4 plus 10 into 1 by 4. So see that these two directions are reversed and this is plus. Why we are using this sign convention here. If you are taking the current is flowing in the clockwise direction, you see the voltage will be taken as negative and the voltage source 10 will be taken as positive. This is minus 4 into 1 by 4, minus 2 into 1 by 4, by 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4. So like this you can calculate the voltage. When you get the voltage divided by, you get your current, and the current to 10 ohm resistors multiplied by 10 is the voltage. I think this problem is still share this PDF with you, but I think this is pretty easy. Okay, so I will just tell you what happens if there's a current source. Sources. So see in this problem, you have two current sources given 5 ampere and 3 ampere. So pretty easily you know that for parallel resistance, ampere and 3 ampere, these two will get added up. Okay, so 5 plus ampere, your G will be equal to, because you have to find out the current through the 1 ohm resistance, that is 1 ohm is the equivalent resistance, or what is the equivalent internal resistance? G1 plus G2, it is half plus half, and that is equals to 1 mho. What you have to do next is, you have to convert this single current source into an equivalent voltage source. Single current source into a, pretty easy. Here you have just voltages. Here you have current. Find out the total current, find out the internal resistance and the voltage, and that will give you the voltage value. So that the circuit is becoming more simple. Okay, the circuit is becoming more simpler. Okay, so this is about.
Sir, can you show the solution of the previous problem once?
Previous problem means the first one, that right.
Yeah. The previous one, sir, that R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R3 is equal to 4.
This one here. See, two which are having 4 volt and 2 volt, these two are being taken as negative. Why negative? Because their polarities are reverse of that of the 10. So V1, V2, because if you are taking the current from the clockwise direction, this voltage will be negative. Okay, so you are calculating R equals to 1 by G, then you are substituting the values and you are getting the value. Okay, clear? Have you taken down the solution? Should we move forward? Shubham, I will tell you what to do in project. I will take 4 to 5:30 someday. I will let you know what to do in the project. That the project part, that will not be something very difficult. That will be kind of a small vibe. Maybe you have to give a short presentation. So I will just tell you what to do in the project part. Do not worry about that. I will take a special class sometime this week. Maybe on Wednesday or Thursday, I will let you know. I will tell you what to do for the project part. What we are doing, we are moving on to the next theorem. I will just talk about the next theorem, do a problem solution next day, and we are left with a total 3 small theorems now. One is the reciprocity theorem, one is the theorem. With that, we will come to the end of module 1. Okay, so we will just go through the network theorem. Everything has been covered till date. Only this compensation, reciprocity, and intelligence are left. So what is a reciprocity theorem? So it is stating, okay, linear bilateral network. Again, these two terms are that is consisting of resistance, inductance, or capacitances. So a linear bilateral network. So you are having two branches. A, if you are having a voltage source B in branch A, so you will get two conditions. A voltage source B in branch A, this will produce. If you are having a voltage source B in branch, current I in branch B. Now, if the same voltage is acting in branch B, if the same voltage B is acting in current I in the branch A, that is the reciprocal nature of voltage and current. That is, if the voltage in
Your voice is lagging in between.
okay, I will just wait and just let's say, is this clear? Is the voice clear now?
Yes.
Okay. So let us say 10 volt in branch A, and say you are producing, that is producing a current of 2 ampere in branch B. 10 volt in branch A is producing a current of 2 ampere in branch B. Now, if you just reverse it, if you take the voltage, it produces the same current in branch A, that is, if you are applying 10 volt across branch B and it is producing 2 ampere across branch A, reciprocity theorem is verified. We tell that reciprocity theorem is verified. And this relation between V and V by I, this ratio is remaining constant. V by I ratio is remaining constant. So this ratio is known as the, so this will be useful to you. You will get to know about this transfer resistance once you get to the two-port networks, the application of the transfer. You just keep this in mind that if reciprocity theorem is verified, that if a branch is having a voltage source V and producing a current, now if you just swap the voltage and bring it to that branch B, it will produce the same current in branch A. If this is the condition, then it's constant, and this ratio is termed as the transfer resistance. Okay. Questions? Transfer resistance? Okay. So we will show you.
be parallel also?
Yes, yes, I will
Branch.
show you. I will show you with a diagram though. So let us say this is branch A and this is branch B. You are having a voltage source of 36 volt and you are having the current I in that 1 ohm resistance branch. Okay. With the source 36 volt, let us say we are considering the branch B with current I. Okay. So what should we see? We have to find the current in branch B due to the voltage source of 36 volt in branch. Transferring the voltage source to branch B and we will find the current in branch A. If the current in branch B and branch A under these two conditions, we will say that reciprocity theorem is established, and then only we can determine the transfer resistance from branch A to branch B. So simple thing. So first what we are doing, we are just calculating the equivalent resistance. So say 36 volt is the voltage source, ohm is the resistance. Now you have this 12 ohm and 3 and 1 ohm, these two parallel to each other with the 4 ohm in circuit from branch A. So you are having this 2 ohm, then you are having series. So from that you are getting the R equivalent 9 ohm. So what will be the current? Current is 4 ampere. So by current division rule, you can calculate the current through branch B, that is coming out as 3 ampere. Branch current, right? Now what we are doing, we are transferring this voltage source from A to B. From A to B. Okay? So now you calculate the equivalent resistance from this end. Then you will have 12 ohm and 2 ohm 4 ohm in parallel to each other, and in series 3 ohm in series with the parallel combination of 12 ohm and 2 ohm 4 ohm with the 1 ohm as 8 ohm. R equivalent as 8 ohm from branch B. From branch B, the equivalent resistance is 8. Was in branch, equivalent resistance was 9 ohm. Then you calculate the current and you calculate the current through this branch A, that is 2 ohm and 4 ohm. So 3 ampere. For series branches, generally you have the voltage sources. Considering branch, when I'm talking about branch, I'm considering parallel connection. So two branches, let us say we have denoted the two branches. When we are swapping the voltage source, the current also in the branches will get swapped. Right? So when it was branch A, you had current of 3 ampere in branch B. When you had 36 volt in branch B, you have 3 ampere in branch A. This ratio remains constant. So P by I, that is 36 by 3, that this is your transfer resistance, and this transfer resistance for any circuit remains constant. The transfer resistance, you can calculate any pattern. Move on to the two-port networks, you will see we have to calculate the transfer resistances, and this is especially necessary when you are creating any analog circuit. This transfer resistance is necessary. So this transfer resistance value, this remains constant when you are doing the circuit for analog, when you are applying this circuit analysis for analog circuits. So any questions regarding this reciprocity theorem? Is this clear? once Shubham, Roman, and Shubhradeep will share. Okay, so this is. Any questions, anybody? Do you have any questions? Yes. Okay, then we are stopping here today then. If nobody is having any question, we are stopping here today then. And I will send you the solutions of that assignment as well. Give the attendance please. Akash Datta. Hello. Aritrika Ganguly. Hello.
Present, sir.
Otonu. Otonu.